Hello folks, Cory here. Welcome back to my channel. Excuse me for being a hot mess. I just came back in from walking the dog and it is still burning hot in January in Southern California. But I am here finally with another occult book roundup. With the pandemic and everything that's been going on with shipping and, printing, just a calamity of things outside of basically everyone's control. Pre-orders have been a little funky. Trying to get books has been a little nuts as well. Just a whole bunch of reasons. So these were all pre-order books that have been basically trickling in as they can. And wanted to finally pop on here, share them with you. If you've been following me on Instagram, you've seen them as they've come in. So these books won't be any surprise to you. But I did want to do a video just to kind of talk about them a little bit more, share with you why I got them, etc. So we will jump in. The first two are from Black Letter Press. And I talked about the first two books that I got from Black Letter Press. Sorry. I believe in the prior book roundup. So I may have actually mentioned that I had these two on pre-order in that video. So this definitely won't be a shock. But the first one is the second volume in Cornelius Heinrich Agrippa's Books of Occult Philosophy. So this is book 2, Celestial Magic. I talked about book 1 in that other video. And I do have book 3 on pre-order and will be pre-ordering book 4 once that's available. Because I want the whole set. I've wanted this set for a very long time. So when Black Letter Press announced that they were, printing these books and would be available for pre-order, I jumped on it because, oh my God, look at how pretty, you guys. The foil, the little baby size. Like, I can't. I love it. So I needed it. I got it. There it is. We'll be collecting the whole set at some point. The second one is also another grimoire. This copy was actually printed, let's see. This edition is the one purportedly published in Lyons in 1752. And so this is the Le Petit Albert. This is grimoire of, ceremonial magic. And I wanted to share with you, this was edited by Paul Summers Young, and I wanted to share with you the last 2 lines of his introduction, because if this doesn't nail perfectly why I got this book, I don't know what else will. So he writes here, "This book encourages you to break the king's peace and not feel bad about it. This then is a handbook for bastards and bitches. Bon appetit." How perfect is that, right? So I've mentioned here many a time my love for, older grimoires, getting reprints of those. So of course I had to pick this one up, but that's perfect right there. And I really can't wait to dive into it because some of the seals and drawings and etchings and things that are in this grimoire are just, they're fascinating. I love them. Sigils and seals are one of the things that I have just always been drawn to when it comes to these older grimoires. And yeah, that's the Hand of Glory. So, had to. So we have those two. And I am trying my hardest, and failing, by the way, but I'm trying my hardest not to buy every book that Black Letter Press publishes because, oh my God. So, not only do they reprint some amazing occult works, but they also publish, other fictional and nonfiction works as well, like, for instance, The Vampire, which that's on my wish list. There's a volume of Emily Dickinson poetry that they have just recently put out. I want to get my hands on that as well as, you know, the most recent printings of Natural Magic, the Black Pullet, the Red Dragon that they have done. Would just love to get my hands on those. So I have a wish list as long as my arm. Basically, if you go on a Black Letter Press's website, I pretty much want everything that's available for purchase at the moment. So let's just say in the next several videos, you'll probably see at least one Black Letter Press title, if not more. So be prepared. The next book is a reprinting, and this is The Magical Revival by Kenneth Grant. So for those of you not familiar with Kenneth Grant's work, he is the author of a series of 9 books referred to as the Typhonian trilogies. So they're set up in 3 volumes of 3. Okay, this is the very, very first one. So Magical Revival, this was originally published in, let's see, I want to say 1972. Okay, was when it was first published, and then subsequently picked up by Scoob Publishing, and now it is with Starfire Publishing, who did this volume, or this copy. And let's see, I have it here somewhere, haha. So the only book that I previously had out of the Typhonian trilogies is Night Side of Eden, which I have shared with you guys before. If you've not seen that video, I will link it down below. So this copy right here is one of the Scoob Publishing copies. Okay, and this one was printed in 1994. Originally, this book was printed in 1977. And, you know, it's the only one that I've had. And since these books have been out of print for a while, trying to get a hold of copies of any of these have been outrageous. They're just really expensive. I've seen sets of all 9 books going for well over $900. So if that gives you any indication of what it's like trying to get your hands on these books. So when I saw that Starfire was going to be doing another printing, I was like, please, thank you. Can't be going broke trying to buy all these books. So I did get the hardback edition. What I really appreciate now, though, is with this new printing, they're printing paperback copies now. So if, you know, you're still struggling to get the, I believe, because I had to buy this from their US distributor, JD Holmes Publishing. So even though inside the jacket it says that this retails for 30 pounds, I ended up paying $65 US for the hardback copy. So if that's still out of your budget range, totally understand. There should be paperback copies available. I will double check and leave a link below if I can find a US link to the paperback. But I do know that Starfire is printing paperback copies. So yay! Finally! Because that's something I might record a video on in the future. I'm still on the fence about whether or not I want to open up that can of worms. But one of the things that has driven me crazy diving into the world of independent occult books and publishing is that oftentimes we have these really gorgeous hardback editions that are fantastic. Okay, and they're amazing and everybody wants to get their hands on them, but you know, some of the price points can be really outside of, you know, basically a good portion of folks' budgets. And that's really disappointing because it's, you know, the last thing that I want to see is esoteric knowledge being hidden behind a very extreme paywall. And obviously, yes, publishers need to make money. Authors, that are writing these new books need to make money, reprints aside, because a lot of these grimoires are public domain. If you want access to Le Petit Albert, you can find it online. I'm not talking about these guys. This is obviously, for folks that want to spend the money on a very nice edition. And Black Letter Presses actually are pretty affordable for what you get. However, like I said, I know not everybody can afford these books. So when publishers do make available, like Scarlet Imprint is a great publisher that does this. I'm thinking of smaller independent outside of Llewellyn and Weiser, which we all know and love. But as far as independent occult book publishers, Scarlet Imprint offers not only fine editions oftentimes, but they do offer the hardbacks and then as well paperback copies. And for those that do purchase a physical copy, they often, if it's available, will hand out e-copies, ebooks of what you just purchased so that you can get reading it right away. I've mentioned this in past videos as well. Troy Books as well also offers paperback copies of a lot of their books, and recently partnered up with Llewellyn to have them distribute their books inside the US, which makes it even more accessible to folks like me who are in the US and just like looking at shipping rates right now and kind of dying a little bit inside. Because we want to get a hold of these books from these, amazing, publishers around the world. And we do have some incredible publishers here in the US, don't get me wrong, some amazing independent occult book publishers. But, you want access to everything, right? And paperback copies, for any of you indie book publishers that are listening, 3 Hands Press, paperback copies go a long way for folks that really can't afford $60 and $200, price tags on occult books. So throwing that out there, Starfire, good on you. Thank you. And thank you for finally reprinting these. My God. Because yes, please. This next one is Llewellyn title. This is the 10th anniversary edition. Oh my God, this is so hefty. Of the Dictionary of Demons by Michelle Belanger. You guys. Oh, I love this book. So I have the first edition, several reprintings later, obviously, but I purchased the original paperback edition from Michelle's website, actually, so it's signed, so that's not going anywhere. But I had to pre-order a hardcover copy because I was so worried, like, that these were just gonna, all be sold out with the pre-orders. So I got this guy. Michelle added so much information. So much to this edition. It's almost like double in thickness from the original. This isn't a book you read in one sitting. This is to be used very much like a dictionary. And I've used my other copy for about a year now. It's fantastic. There was no way I wasn't going to pre-order the updated copy. So, and look at how beautiful. Oh my God, Llewellyn, you did a freaking amazing job with this 10th anniversary edition. This is just the red foil. I'm in love. Seriously. Llewellyn, not that you watch my videos, but if you ever see this video, please do more amazing hardbacks, because they're pretty. I'm a sucker for books, could you tell? So there's that one. Again, because it was expanded, felt like I needed to get it. And the hardback was the way I wanted to go. So this next book is from Troy. I think I also mentioned this in a prior video. So this is the Willows Path. I pre-ordered it around the same time I pre-ordered Of Chalk and Flint. And just look at this, you guys. This is copper foil on this gorgeous blue linen hardback. Like, oh, so pretty. And so this is the Willow Path by Cory Weissner. Okay. And he basically wrote a book on traditional witchcraft, you know, based on his experiences, what he was taught, etc. And so this is apparently going to be a forthcoming trilogy. So this is number 1 in what will be a series of 3 books by Cory. So I've been so intrigued by traditional witchcraft recently, really wanting to dive more into everybody's practices. And this was just, I don't know, it was too good to pass up. So, for example, some of the chapters that he has here, the Gesta, which is actually the name, the unofficial title of the trilogy. Chapter 2, the Art, A Lady We All Know, the Councils of the Art, the Worlds of the Art and the Hermetic Kabbalah, the Stang, the Tree Rising Through the Worlds, Chapter 8, The Magic of the Moon, 9, Sun Tides, 10, The Witch's Foot, Elemental Forces and the Pentagram of Art, 11, The Miller's Stone, Numbers in the Art, Chapter 12, The Cloak of Danu, The Planets and Color in the Art. I mean, there's 29 chapters in here. This is an almost 300-page volume. And there's some gorgeous image plates in here too. Aww. The Mistress's Familiar Best, reading Crowley. Kitties! I love cats. So yeah, this was, you know, just something that really intrigued me, was interested in seeing this perspective. I believe is Cory's from the New England area. Please forgive me if I'm wrong. But, you know, this is just something that I was very interested in and wanted to pick it up. So there we go, the Willow Path. And then the last one I want to share with you is a title I pre-ordered from Scarlet Imprint. Speaking of, this is Black Abbott White Magic, and you can't, White Magic is embossed on here. So this is the second volume in the, I don't know if it's a trilogy or just series of books by Frater Atcher, who did Holy Daemon, which I believe I've shared with you guys in the past. And this is basically a volume on the work of, I'm gonna butcher his name, Johannes Trithemius. Anyway, there you go. He was a teacher and mentor to Agrippa. So that's actually what drew me to looking at this book in the first place, along with, you know, Frater's work. I do love. I have, like I said, I have Holy Daemon. And so the contents of this volume, there are, I believe, 2 angelic grimoires that were translated into English. And Frater goes on to kind of dissect those and discuss them in the book as well as some other personal essays, and just, there's a lot of information in here. So much. Like, for example, ritual summary. Like, just looking through the breakout in this book. Also, the Tablet of Truth. And instructions are in here. There's, oh God, it's so much stuff. So much. So if you're at all interested in Enochian magic, in ceremonial magic in general, this would be a good one to pick up. I was just fascinated. And, you know, this kind of adds to, again, what I've been reading recently, just kind of my dive into ceremonial magic. And I really like books where, again, what Frater has done here is kind of taken someone's work and really kind of brought it up to speed for modern occultists. And that's something that I can really get behind, because trying to break some of this shit down on my own, whoo! You know, coming from, you know, a place of folk magic intertwined with, you know, my background in Wicca, diving into ceremonial magic, diving into old grimoires, diving into even Enochian magic, has been quite the ride. And just, it's been interesting for me to wrap my head around. There's a lot of things that I have to unlearn, and new things for me to learn about magic. And I think, honestly, diving outside of your comfort zone is probably one of the best things that any magician, occultist, witch can do, because, number one, it keeps me humble to realize, like, shit, you know, just how little I know about really all magical traditions in general. But, you know, you can be the baddest bitch in your field and have, like, you know, read every book there is to read on chaos magic, or every book there is to read on, you know, Gardnerian Wicca, or, you know, what your chosen path is, right? But then when you start to dive outside of that, and, you know, you say you start, you know, you're a ceremonial magician, you start digging into Appalachian folk magic. Whew! Just, it turns everything on its head for you, as it should, and really just kind of gives you a different perspective. And for me, a deeper appreciation for just how many ways there are in the world to practice magic. And seeing how, you know, other folks lay out their practices, how they make certain things work, how different people, you know, achieve, you know, work out to achieve the same result. Okay. So say the goal is to work magic for healing. You know, there's so many different ways to go about that. And it's just, it's a beautiful thing, and it makes me appreciate the diversity and richness of our collective community. So yeah, that's where I'm going with all of these books. That's why I, you know, you see me diving into all of these different topics, because it's just freaking awesome. And like I said, I placed an order with Llewellyn, so there's gonna be some more mainstream, possibly, books that are coming for me to share with you. Some books that I picked up during their sale, books that I'm really excited for, and, you know, a couple of these books I purchased in preparation for me starting my Witchcraft 2 course with the Temple of Witchcraft. So I was accepted into the second level class, which I'm really excited for. Like, the first class was so amazing and fulfilling and challenging and just an incredible experience that I don't think I could really get away with just stopping there. I really have fallen head over heels in love with the temple's philosophy and the way that they do things thus far. And so I signed up for class 2 and I was lucky enough to be accepted. So very excited for that. And we'll explain more in depth why I grabbed each of those books when this shipment shows up. But there you have it. Here's Occult Book Roundup, Volume 4. I believe we're on Volume 4. If not, I'll correct it in the title. You'll forgive me, right? And then when I do get more pre-orders in, we'll jump into the next video. Hopefully there won't be such a long delay, but I also don't want to break my bank buying books just, you know, as I'm waiting for other pre-orders to come in. So we'll see what happens. Maybe what I'll do is I'll record shorter videos with just a couple books, you know, at a time. Let me know what you think about that. Shorter videos with fewer books or longer videos with more books. Up to you guys. But that's it for this video, and I hope to catch you guys in the next one. So until then, blessed be.